See if one of these teams picks a Baltimore. Or if one of these teams maybe has paid attention to what other teams have played and bans a Baltimore. I don't know.
Well, let's see. I'm waiting for these guys to do pick ban. They're like readying up ships, and I'm like, slow down there, Chiefs.
Yeah.
No, that's not. Okay.
Okay, so who? So TNG ban. Sinpack said.
There we go. All right, done.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so here are. That was very quickly. All right, so TNG bans Chapayev.
Interesting.
Interesting. They don't want to deal with Chapayev.
Night.
Okay.
Oops.
Oops comes in and they banned Vladivostok and Akizuki.
Now TNG's final ban is actually Cossack. So this takes away your thought as the replacement. So now Kids and Benson's become. Kid I think becomes
like your kind of go-to here
Yeah.
at this point. Yeah. All right. Well, with all that done, everybody seems to be moving in the right direction. TNG is all ready except for you.
Oh, hold on.
There you go. And Oops is getting ready, but they will be all ready to go momentarily. Looks like they're filling their last picks.
I'm ready now.
Yep, I see that. Now, here's a question. Let's go back to North a minute. We
Okay.
talked about Massachusetts, maybe not a great ship on North. What about on this map?
I think so. Looking at the bans, seeing that Vladivostok is banned, Massachusetts and Lenin become my two.
You think so?
Oh yeah. How are you going to get a Lenin out of a spot when it gets in? You look at Haven when he gets in those islands.
Yeah.
How do you get with the Lenin's armor, with all of its guns in the front? How do you get it out of those little alleys? Torpedoes, but if you're bringing kids. Your torps aren't necessarily that big of a threat to a battle. I mean, if you take one, you're like, it's a kid torp.
Exactly.
So a kid torp. Yeah. Sorry, kid jokes. I'm soon to have a kid.
That's right.
So,
You're on your way.
So I got to work on my dad jokes, right?
That's right. That's you got to start the dad jokes early
Yeah.
on us, man.
But so looking at this, we're seeing a mix.
That is interesting. One team having opted exclusively for the American variant, that's Oops, and the other team having opted exclusively for the Russian variant in Lenin.
So looking at this real quick, TNG brought double Lenin.
Double Lenin, that's right.
Double Edinburgh, double Kid, and double. Here's an interesting.
Four destroyers.
Four destroyers.
And Oops here. Oops has opted North Carolina, Massachusetts. Seems reasonable.
Yep.
Baltimore. Hey, based on that, they're going to win this game, right?
There's the Baltimore.
There's the Baltimore. Martel, Otago. So a nice mix of cruisers. Benson and Lo Yang. Interesting. Well, let's see how they decide to deploy things.
So looking at this right away, TNG should control the caps with DDs early. Now, that's not that, but Oops will be able to get ships into positions that I don't know if TNG is going to have the firepower to root them out, because bringing 4 destroyers, you're relying, especially with the Harakazi. I mean, I find that to be a very interesting choice. And honestly, this is a ship that we haven't seen yet.
We haven't, but Harakazi is kind of a light Akizuki. It's the same. If you mount those 100mm guns, it's just down a turret, and the torps reload much faster.
So do you think? So this could have been TNG expecting Akizuki being banned in their matches.
Yeah, I would at this point.
And if I'm looking at this, Righteous Fury, as you said, he has the 100 mils.
Of course. I mean, to me, that's the best gun to take on Harakazi. Like, if you have the option, that you're gonna take the 100mm. Yeah. And frequently you can just grab your Akizuki captain and dump him in there because it's a premium ship. So.
They both do.
Yeah.
They both are set up gunboat, which is what you expected.
Yep.
Like you said, 1 turret less.
Yep.
But when it comes to the rate of fire of those guns, I mean, yes, you're losing a little bit.
So with Harakazi, what you do is you have a solid amount of gunpowder, but you trade that 4th turret for an extra round, an extra torpedo launcher, which gives you more firepower there. Oops here, has gone for a split here. 3 of their cruisers plus the Massachusetts moving up the 8 line. The Benson has taken an inside track into C. He is about to go into F6 and try to get into the bottom end of C, as the Lo Yang is about to be in B, backed up by the Baltimore and North Carolina.
So TNG has taken Kid, Harakazi, Edinburgh, and Lenin have headed to C.
So they've just gone for a straight even split.
They're an even split.
4 each side.
Yeah, they have
mirror comp.
Mirror split.
Okay.
I like it.
It works, right?
The thing looking at this though is having less HP, because if you look at the HP, we're down. TNG's down what 20 20K?
TNG's, my screen says it's higher than that, but they're definitely down HP. There's no question of that.
Well, I guess it's got to be what? Ship. I guess it evens out once ships are spotted? Because it's kind of changing. But definitely down HP, bringing more destroyers than bringing
Yes,
cruisers.
because you've brought 2 destroyers instead of 2 cruisers.
But it looks like they have found...
Oof.
Oh.
Buckarama just getting radared and getting pummeled here. Wasn't snuggled up to an island when they radared him, and they've taken half his life away. And he's not a kid. That's a Lo Yang, so he's not getting any of that back.
And now the Benson is also spotted. Rip Rush is taking a huge amount of damage.
Well, I mean, they're absolutely focusing these poor destroyers off the board. Oh my lord, he's already down to 1,200 HP in that smoke.
He's radar.
And here comes,
yes.
he's dead.
Yes, he's radar.
He's dead. TNG just executing one of these destroyers.
Hey, TNG pulled out an old strat. They pulled out the smoke road.
That's right. Yeah,
they pulled out the smoke road.
Edinburgh, if you're going to take a radar Edinburgh, you want that. You want to put your radars in smoke.
So now, how does Oops contest a cap against 4 DDs when you have 1 DD dead and one half dead?
If I'm 100% honest with you, Kami, to me, I don't think you can. I feel like this match was probably, it sounds awful to say, it almost feels like it was won at the ship selection screen. I mean, it sounds awful to say that because you don't ever want to discount players' skills or players making mistakes. But right now, like, I just don't see how Oops is going to be able to contest any of these caps. They certainly can't contest C anytime soon. And their Lo Yang in B is just, I mean, they're just gonna eventually gonna hunt this guy down and annihilate him. Now, Synpax just took a big hit.
Well, and Synpax is just going for it, right?
But it's a kid, right?
Yeah.
He'll just heal some of it back. Like, whatever.
He's now proxying
Yeah.
Buckarama. So, but and Buckarama's getting shot up by the storm. I mean, and he's dead.
There he goes.
So, looking at this, I think you were correct in saying, like, picks and bans. And this is the thing. Picks and bans really, really impacted this match.
Makes a big difference.
Because, you know, when you start thinking about, you know, we have some action going out here on the 9-10 line, but you start thinking about how teams control maps.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's still a cap game, right?
Yes.
You cannot surrender control. Like, we've casted games in King of the Sea where if one team ignores the caps too long, it doesn't, like, in the end, you can't recover from that points, no matter how many those points losses, no matter how many ships you kill.
So going back to the very beginning with Oops losing that destroyer so soon, I'm gonna have to say they made a very big tactical mistake, and what that mistake was is they sent a DD into that cap alone.
All his support was on the 9 line.
He had 0 support.
Yeah, there's nobody right there. Whereas, and you look at how the other team deployed, they're literally all on top of their friendly destroyer. That kid is in the van with his smoke, and immediately right behind him is the Edinburgh, the Hirakazi, and the Lenin was even right there.
Yeah. And looking back at the very like you said, at the very beginning, picks and bans, but even more so early deployment. It is such an issue for this match, and the reason why it's honestly not close. This match isn't close because Oops, they have no way to contest these caps.
No.
Right? TNG not only has 4 DDs to control the caps, but how do you can't go dark now. You can't move around the map and not have a DD like, hi. You know, hi, I'm right next to you and you can't see me back.
We talked last time about how impactful the destroyers were being able to keep things lit without a carrier on the board. And I mean, this maybe is an extreme example of that kind of composition.
I would say this is extreme.
But at the same time, it highlights why it's so critical.
And Baltimore's over here taking massive damage.
The Lenin's in his face. He's got nowhere to run.
But here's the thing with the Baltimore. Oops put that ball. Where was that Baltimore to support their DD? Like,
he was actually close aboard. Like, that little island that he's running from, that's due astern of him now, is where he was. His radar is what allowed them to drive Synpax out of the B cap initially. But at the same time, you know, he's only there. He can only do so much, especially once Synpax and the other destroyers move up into that cap and get behind their own island cover. I mean, Baltimore's ability to impact the combat at that point is fairly limited.
Yeah. Pythias here has a Lenin chasing him.
Yep.
I don't think that's exactly where he wants to be.
I wouldn't want to be there.
We have a ram actually. A Martell and an Edinburgh just rammed. I'm not sure with all this firepower how TNG
does seem counterintuitive, but there you go.
But I mean, I guess it's another kill, right? Shots are out on the Kutuzov. Kutuzov is...
These Lenin guns are just punishing these cruisers. I mean, just it's brutal.
And we talked about it, right? How do you stop the Lenin? Torpedoes.
Yeah.
Is one of the big things that stops the Lenin.
Right. You know, one destroyer we haven't seen yet today that I'm really surprised is Kagero. The closest that we've seen is these Harakazis, right?
Yes.
That these guys have brought. You see over on the 3 line now, Demal he took a bunch of torpedoes there.
Yeah.
And again, you know, this Harakazi now not afraid to get in a gunfight with this guy.
Yep.
Between his torpedo power,
Baltimore's dead.
Yeah.
Kutuzov's at 2K.
Yeah, no, this is I mean, TNG is going to win this game. Like, there's no question. And I think maybe the Harakazi is that nice fine balance point in between the gun power of the Akazuki and the torpedo power of the Kagero.
So now that we've seen this, and you know, every type of game that has any type of competitive is a copycat league, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, anything competitive. Do you think you'll see more Harakazi? Because honestly, it's going to come down to who has them as well, right? Because the Harakazi is a ship
hasn't been on sale for a while. It's a premium ship.
You know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I'm just gonna say right here, like you said, at Ship Select when they brought those four DDs.
Yeah, I feel like this particular match was decided at the ship selection screen. TNG obviously put this comp together, intending to do exactly what we just watched them do.
They picked a comp and executed it. Whereas I feel like, oops, maybe the bands caught them off guard. We don't know. We don't know their comms, right?
That's true.
We got to do that.
All right, well, that game wrapping up in a little less than 10 minutes, I think. So we'll probably have a bit of another longish break here as we wait for some other things to wrap up. Now, the good news